Hello, welcome to another video. This video is going to be on moon gazing and moon bathing. This was a request by Danielle, so I hope this helps you, Danielle. I hope it gives you some more insight. Now, I don't know what your levels or your expertise are on moon bathing or moon gazing, but maybe there's a lot of people out there that have never even heard of this. You also asked about how it affects hormones or could affect hormones. So this is just my personal perspective. Read my disclaimer, this is not medical advice in any way. But I would like to share some information about the moon, about hormones, and the possibilities of effects. So let's start with moon bathing. Now, who doesn't go sunbathing? There's a lot of people out there that sunbathe. And you see the difference. You see your skin change, you feel the effects. A lot of people do it and they just go, "I just feel so good." Some people think it's just being lazy and just chilling out for the day. Some people say it makes their whole body feel better and they feel like they're healing. And it gives them a lot, especially if they've got like fibromyalgia or these immune system problems or chronic diseases. They find the sun very healing to lay in it and bathe in it. Can you do the same with the moon? Does the moon have any effects on the world? All we have to do is be observant and pay attention. It's very easy to pay attention to the sun and the seasonal changes. Apologies for the plane overhead. So, is it possible to see the moon and the changes in the moon? So if we was to look at nature and be observant, we can see clearly it has effect on water and it has an effect on animals and their mating habits. Yeah? So, with us being a high percentage water, roughly 72% I think the percentages, you can comment, let me know if I'm slightly wrong, but it's a high percentage, we're majority water. Now, I've read a lot of people talking about how, but it's not enough water. It only affects oceans. Oceans are large and vast, so that's why it has an effect on them. But can a subtle effect make any difference? Now, within liquids, your hormones are liquids. Yeah? What you excrete out your glands are in liquid form. High concentrations of water in them. So can it affect your hormones? What do you think? Do you think it could? They say if anyone's ever took a strong medication, drug, it's not the amount you need to take, it's the potency. You can have an overdose. You can have severe side effects from taking just the smallest little tablet. Yeah? And if you look at that tablet, most of the actual tablet itself is filler. It's not the actual chemical that's giving the effect. The chemical that gives the effect is very minute in very strong chemicals that cause an amazing change in the body that's very obvious. You know, someone can undergo surgery because they've had chemicals and not feel it. So this shows it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. So does the moon possess quality? Yeah, I think it does. Who doesn't like to stare at a full moon? Or go out with a loved one? How romantic is the full moon? The full moon is pictured in nearly every single Hollywood film because it's so powerful. Because it has so much momentum to it, so much effect. So yes, staring at the moon, bathing in the moon is great. Spending time with the moon. And like I said, one thing I like to take from the moon, watching it over time and seeing, is it teaches us cycles. The moon has a 28-day cycle, yeah, where it goes through different phases. This helps us to appreciate the cycles of life. And there's a lot of cycles that we need to be aware of. And then once we're aware of them, you understand when there's beginnings and when there's ends and when there's full power. So when it comes to the female hormones, like I said, the female has a period, a menstrual cycle, and that cycle is every 28 days, identical to the moon. If the person's healthy and their body's working correctly, that is its optimum state, 28 days to make a brand new lining. And halfway between that point, they go through ovulation, and it's the best time to mate, to reproduce, to get pregnant. And at this point, if you're in cycle with the moon, this is also on the full moon. This is also when a lot of animals go out mating. It's on the full moon. Not only for us, it's good because we don't have a lot of night vision, but you can go out and hunt, you're active. Yeah? You heard of lunatics, Luna in Spain, the moon. So you've got people with water on the brain, as they call it, and they say they have water on the brain, and when the full moon's in effect, people throughout the world in different mental hospitals have said they've noticed a difference in the patients on full moons. And this is where the term lunatic comes from, and saying that people go a bit crazy on the full moon. You may have noticed yourself, if you pay attention, that your cravings, your food, your behaviour is slightly different on a full moon. But with all the busy distractions of life, there's a chance that you've just not paid attention to it for long enough and been observant and conscious enough. So take time to get to know the moon. Take time to regulate yourself with its cycle. Mark it if you've got a diary. Mark down the new moon, mark down the full moon, yeah, and watch and be observant of the cycles and see if you feel any effects. But getting out into the moon in nature and spending time with yourself and time with the moon is great. You can get into a good meditative state, yeah, which has lots of positive effects on your body. And you can also bathe in that moonlight. And if you saw my other video on sun gazing, now the sun's very powerful, it's a very, very bright light. As you can see, it's probably gleaming off my sweaty face right now because it is extremely hot. But it is very, very powerful. Now, you can stare at a full moon and it's not quite so powerful, it's not quite so harmful in ways to the eyes if you're new to it. So starting with moon gazing and staring at the moon, again, straight on with your pupils straight at the moon. And like I said in my other video, if you haven't seen it, it's all about the same effect of a solar panel. The light has to hit direct to get full power. So go out when it's a full moon and just stare at it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Do some deep breathing, get yourself into a pleasant state of mind. And just do that on a regular basis every full moon for a year, if you can, if you're lucky enough to have that opportunity. Try and do it and see how you feel, see if it helps you regulate things. There's many stories of women where just doing that alone has regulated their hormones. Yeah? I'm not saying that's going to be the case for you, but I'm saying give it a go, see how you feel. Let me know in the comments if you do it, if it's helped you, if you know someone that's done it, if it's helped them. Yeah, let me know. It'd be really interesting to know more about this. But the moon is magical, so make sure you spend time to admire it, yeah, and reflect upon yourself, and stare at it, bathe in it, and love it. And it is something that is consistent. There's a consistency to the moon. It doesn't change. We don't see change happening in our lifetime. So this is something you can regulate yourself to. If you've got plans, you can start just... Now some people will say there's an actual effect that you're riding like a wave with the energy of the moon that you can ride along with. But even if there's not, just starting to make your plans with the moon. So on the new moon, you start a new thing. Or if you've got your goals and aspirations, you start a new thing. Then at the end of the moon cycle, 28 days, on day 27, you reflect back on your whole month, how your goals were, how your attitude was, how your momentum was, how your emotions were, and then you try to make an improvement on the next cycle, on the next moon, and you do that every month. Just that habit alone will create improvement. Yeah? And if there is an effect from the moon, you're going to be riding that wave, and that will just add to it and add that momentum that you need and you crave and you love. I hope that gives you some insight to moon bathing, moon gazing, and let me know in the comments if it helped, and I'll talk more about it. Thanks for watching.